Welcome to Ecom Cowboy. This is DTC's daily show where we believe ads are not bad. Ignorance is expensive and the American dream is alive and well on the internet today. It is Tuesday, April 14th, 2026 in the year of our Lord. It is a beautiful day outside in Austin, Texas. We sit high atop a very beautiful hill country-ish area, and we're coming to you live from an undisclosed location brought to you by Seguno, Postscript, and Insense, and we have a jam-packed show for you today. My friends, Ramp has released software rankings for the marketing world, okay? And I'll just say, I think there is a whale of a story here, okay? It may surprise you. It may contradict some narratives that you have at play inside of your head right now. We're going to dive into Marketing Measurement Edition to kick off the show. Lululemon is being investigated by the Texas Attorney General. Have they been unknowingly poisoning us with forever chemicals via their incredibly fashionable wares that we all love to have and flaunt? We're going to get into that. We have Adam Kitain, CTO of Intelligems, coming on the show to talk about testing and putting profit back into our pockets. Tyler Simmons of Bucket Golf, who was just on Shark Tank and got him a deal with Lori and Mark Cuban. He is going to be joining us as well to talk about their story and the trajectory that they are on. Maybe they're going to become your family's new favorite form of play outside, etc. And we have Michael Brandt, CEO, founder of Ketone IQ, joining us as well. As always, I am joined by my partner in crime, Colin Doherty. Colin, get in here.
Let's go. Let's go.
Locked in. We have, I just want to say, some third-party measurement rankings and data here. Okay, this is not sponsored. Okay, I didn't come up with this. All right, but Ramp, astute knower of ball, has released rankings for various vendors and sectors, etc., specifically software. And this is Marketing Measurement Edition, okay, which has been all of the rage on the timeline recently as of well, but especially a few years ago. Some interesting points for us to get into here, Colin. As we scroll down, I just want to say, I think there are three real stories at play here. Once you scroll down for us, Jack, and show us a little bit more here, specifically on adoption rate. Can you zoom in on that, Jack, so that all of the good people watching can see it? There we go. High atop here on adoption rate. Far and away, number one is the whale, baby. It's triple whale at 31% adoption over time. Everybody else, much less so, far further down the graph. Share of spend. If you scroll up, Jack, and then you click on share of spend right there next to adoption over time, give you another graph here. And you can see what I would say is three things. Number one, Haus, dramatic share of spend in Q1 of 2026. You look at that blue bar there right next to Haus. Triple whale, consistent throughout. Northbeam on the downward trend. Did not expect that. Anything stand out for you here, Colin? This to me is big news for me. Did not expect the downward trend for Northbeam specifically.
Yeah, it's also very bifurcated at the top. I thought it would be a little bit more evened out, but you can really see that the top couple of companies there really make up a pretty small lion's share of everything else remaining. It's pretty wild to see.
Very small. Adoption year over year. You click that next one there, Jack. Adoption year over year. Only two of these vendors are in the positive. Number one, Triple Whale plus 2% and Haus plus 6%. Very interesting to see. Very interesting to see. Marketing measurement software. Scroll a little further down here, Jack. Who takes the cake? Who gets all the awards here? Again, this is Ramp, okay? This isn't me. This is Ramp. Marketing measurement vendors trending triple whale, 31% adoption rate, fastest growing, most adopted, most switched to. Okay. I mean, this is I know. 2020, 2021, 2022. I mean, everybody and their mom was on triple whale. I don't think that the ecom community at large, though, has this in the forefront of their mind, that triple whale is still taking the cake in terms of fastest growing marketing measurement, most
Sure.
adopted, and most switched to. Is that fair?
That's super fair, and I think this is a kind of a sentiment to the fact that their UI is extremely user friendly, and so you can get in there, switch in there pretty quickly, and you can kind of not be too lost and have the ability to go around and navigate and feel the fact that you're gonna go from 0 to 1 pretty quickly inside of it.
When I was at Bruce Bolt, we were definitely on triple whale. The dashboard was a great help first and foremost, but then especially when we started expanding into TikTok, it was a big help for me. Okay, scroll down here, category trends, Jack. Which marketing measurement vendors are most widely adopted? We already know triple whale, 31% adoption, Northbeam 9, Haus 8, following close behind, Dream Data and Recast at 6 and 2. Which marketing measurement vendors are growing fastest? Triple whale, again, adoption rate plus 0.51%. Haus plus 0.41.
Interesting.
There's a story
Really
here
interesting.
with Haus specifically at the end. Go ahead.
I was about to say exactly that. It seems like these two are basically coming out, and House is basically coming out as this, the dog out of nowhere that was, not really on the playing field a couple years ago, but now is a really viable option and is scaling really aggressively. But you see how aggressive Triple Whale is also growing on top of that. It's really interesting to see. I have not heard, I don't know, you can tell me this or not, Chris. I haven't heard folks use recast or measured personally. I
Did
haven't
not
I haven't
did not know they existed.
yeah, I haven't met a brand where they're like, "Oh yeah, we're on recast." And I'm like, I don't know what that is."
Yeah, totally new for me. Totally new.
Yeah.
Did not know.
Yeah.
But in the plus.
Yeah.
Which marketing measurement vendors gained the most first-time adopters of marketing measurement software? Number one, again, Triple Whale, 21% first-time adopter share. Northbeam, 15. Dream Data, again, I did not know them, 15. Haus, 3%. Rockerbox, 3%. Haus is cleaning up, though, with a very specific customer segment.
Yeah.
Which marketing measurement vendors are companies switching to most often? Again, Triple Whale and Haus, and then Northbeam right there at number 3. Haus and Northbeam, 17% customer switch rate at 2 and 3. Okay, this is where things get interesting for me. Which marketing measurement vendors have the highest small business adoption rate? Triple Whale, far and away the highest here, 39%. Northbeam,
Wow.
10. Yeah, 39%. With SMB, 39%, Northbeam 10, Haus 7, Dream Data 5, Rockerbox. Obviously, Triple Whale is owning that. I think some of my consideration has been like, that's where a lot of the Shopify ecosystem exists.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, Triple Whale owns that. But what's mid-market look like? What's enterprise look like? Some interesting data here too. Okay. Mid-market, scroll down to mid-market. Again, number one, Triple Whale, 14% mid-market adoption. Number 2 and number 3, Haus and
Wow.
Northbeam tied at 9% mid-market adoption.
I did not see this coming.
Is this new for you? I mean, this used to be your world. This used to be what you all live and swim in every day, every way.
For sure. Yeah, this is surprising. It seems like there's some clear folks running away with this, and it seems like people are losing steam and people are really gaining steam and basically finding a footing within the industry now.
And you're specifically talking about Haus and Northbeam there.
Yeah. I mean, well, some folks are losing steam. You can see the last 3 here it looks like they're losing steam a little bit within the industry. And then it looks like Triple Whale and Haus are basically finding their footing and or solidifying themselves within the industry completely.
I mean, here is my point. I'm not sure that Triple Whale ever lost their footing. I mean, you just see like the trend is like continually up and to the right on the growth rate. And that's what was most surprising to me. This is I haven't swam in these waters for a couple of years. That was the biggest surprise to me. And then
Yeah.
Haus is just Haus is here. Haus is here. And specifically, you go down to the highest enterprise adoption rate down here at the bottom. Scroll down one more, Jack. Or are we at the bottom? There we are. No, we're there. We're there. Paramark, who again, I've never heard of, don't know, but they've got significant enterprise adoption rate, 33%. Haus, 21%. Which that's where that must be where the ad spend that they are measuring, why that jumped so significantly in Q1 of 26.
Yeah.
That this has to be where it is because they're doing well in enterprise. But I will say again here, Triple Whale's right there at number 3 with 7%. So not only are they top of small business, top of mid market, but they're the number 3 option for enterprise as well. And we don't have stats on Rockerbox or Northbeam there, but they come in at 4 and 5. I would say biggest stories to me, number 1, Triple Whale's continued dominance, was not aware. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 2, Haus is here, very much here. And the share of spend that they are owning is very significant. I mean, we're talking 32% in Q1 of 26. They seem to specifically doing really well with enterprise. And then Northbeam, I don't know what's going on over there. I don't know what's going on at Northbeam. I have some beloved friends. I have some beloved friends over there. Great people. Okay. But I don't know what's going on over there. It looks like, specifically with share of spend, man, we're down. We're down significantly from Q2 2024 to Q1 2026. I don't know, but very interesting. Very interesting. And apparently Ramp has the data, and the data tells the story. Any parting comments for you, Colin?
Pretty wild to see. I mean, you know that I love data, Chris. So it's always good to see some data around some of the kind of feelings and inklings that we're getting just being around folks in the space as we're talking about these types of softwares. But now you see some of the data that's contrasting that completely, and you're saying, oh my gosh, this is insane. I didn't even realize that this was happening right now. So great job by Ramp. Incredible team over there, and way to put all this together. This was probably no small feat to put together.
I can't imagine that it was a small feat, but perhaps there will be more to discover and get into. We've got Adam Kitain coming in here shortly. Colin, we should make sure that he has his link. If he doesn't,
sure.
I don't know if he does, but let's make sure that he has his link. And before he comes, ladies and gentlemen, let's talk about Postscript. You know, focus is an amazing thing, is it not? Yes, it is. When one focuses and obsesses over one thing and one thing only, you get outsized results. That's what Postscript does with SMS marketing, okay? And because they do that, that's why when people make the switch, they see a plus 22% increase in SMS revenue. That is the norm for them. Now, that's not what I saw. I saw a whole lot more, okay? We went from making very little money on SMS at all to being a top 1% account in their entire platform. And I'll tell you the secret, I just did what they said. Okay, that's the secret. And what they're saying now is that you're leaving money on the table when people text you back, and either you leave them on red or you send them an email autoresponder. Email us at customer service, blah, blah, blah. Go and get the conversational report, directtoconsumer.co/the conversational report. What you are allowed and enabled to do with their AI shopper is to have one-to-one conversations with all of your customers and potential customers at scale, brand appropriate, product knowledge, et cetera, et cetera. It's going to mean dollars for your bank account. Go talk to Postscript. Tell them that Colin and I sent you. Many thanks for them being part of the show. Now, we have a man of tech. A man of tech who is coming inside of this show right now. His background is in dynamic pricing when all of the the ride sharing of the world was rolling out, steeped in optimization on that side. And now for several years now has been bringing all of that knower of ball knowledge to our websites and helping us all make increasingly more monies with our A/B testing and such. I'm talking about Adam Kitain, co-founder, CTO of Intelligems. Adam, get in here. Get in here, Adam.
Let's go.
How's it going, guys? Great to be here.
Adam, what's up, man?
How's it going? Loving the applause. I feel like a rock star right now.
You deserve it, bro.
You are one.
That's the deal. You
Well, I
are
appreciate
a
it.
rock star. We try to create, a winsome atmosphere to celebrate entrepreneurs and what's happening on the interwebs, Adam. Man, we appreciate you coming and joining us. Man, if you would, just set the foundation for us now, Adam. I know you guys over at Intelligems, you're looking at A/B testing in every way, every day, helping brands make more monies in all of the ways that they can. And how is AI fundamentally changing, e-com brands' approach to testing? What's happening on the website? What's happening now in 2026 that we just couldn't do or couldn't wish to do several years ago? How have you seen it change?
Yeah, I mean, wow, things are changing so fast. And maybe really quickly, just sort of like to back up and give the quick, you did a great job with the ride sharing intro, but Intelligems, we started as A/B testing your prices 5 years ago. Now we are A/B testing, personalizing everything from prices and discounts and the entire site experience. And one of the things, getting into the question about AI and the agentic stuff, is one of the things that's challenging is there's so much surface area to go optimize. You've got landing pages and PDPs and your cart and your checkout and your upsells and the sort and the search and like so many things, and it's overwhelming to how do you go tackle all of those opportunities and prioritize and comb through that data. And so, I imagine you guys are steeped in Claude Cowork and and some of those great tools. And so one of the things that we really strongly believe is that being able to comb through all that data, being able to come up with the ideas and what to do next, what are the leakages, what are the opportunities to go after, and then go build those experiences. Like what couldn't be done by AI? So I think that there's a lot of really exciting opportunity here on the table.
Wow.
That's incredible, man.
Could you tell us a little bit about, Intelligems has been in the game for a little bit now. You guys have some incredible brands on the platform. Could you tell us about maybe a time where you had a brand come on and just something basically unbelievable happened where you guys were in there, you guys were optimizing for a little bit, and this brand had basically no idea how they were operating, and you guys were able to uncover these with some tests, and then next day, boom, revenue is up into the right 50%. Do you have any examples of some brands that are like that?
I'll take 50% on top. I'll take that. I'll take that.
Yeah.
Who wouldn't? Yeah, I'm sure there are lots. One that comes to mind, because I've talked to him a lot about this. So Dave Rekuch, who runs Bamboo Earth, it's a skincare brand. I don't know if he's even been on your guys' podcast, but super, super smart guy. And one of the things, the way he framed it to me, and this was a little while ago, so like I was still learning about how people who are smarter than me about this stuff were thinking about it. And there was sort of it was a two-step sort of unlock for him. So the first thing was he was testing his discounts and getting people to try and buy, again, skincare. Do I want the sample pack or do I want like the full size pack to start? And what is the like incentive? Because obviously the full size pack is a bigger commitment, but can get people to potentially like spend more money upfront, spend like higher AOVs, which pay back CAC faster. And obviously, wanted to see how those traded off. And so tested different discounts, tested different bundle offers and the different incentives to try and get people to buy the full size pack from the get-go rather than the trial pack, and was able to increase 20% AOV through some of these incentives and tried different things. And but what's exciting about that and is then he was like, well, I'm able to go spend, like that has just changed the spend curve that I am on my CAC. And so it's like, I was at a point where I couldn't put more money into my marketing spend, my social spend, because I was at a point of diminishing returns where the incremental CAC was not paying for itself on AOV. But now I'm on this like new spend curve and I have millions of dollars of headroom now that I can go spend before I've hit that efficiency. So not only am I getting more money on each order, which is better for my AOV revenue, like on the visitors that I'm sending to the site, but I'm also able to send more visitors to the site because I'm able to like spend more to acquire someone and I'm on a new CAC curve. And so it's like a compounding effect there. So it's like that 20% change can actually have compounding effects beyond just like that single change.
Yeah, it's
I like
huge.
that. I like that term CAC curve. I like that.
Yeah. I'd never heard of a CAC curve, but he's like, yeah, I'm on a new CAC curve.
I'm gonna start bringing that up. I got a whole new cat curve about me. It feels good.
Yeah.
So Adam, I mean, I think this is a great point, and it seems to me appropriate specifically for 2026 as things continually evolve. A lot of times people think about A/B testing, what to do on my website. A lot of times we're just thinking like change the color of the button, let's try some different pictures on the PDP, etc. But this example with Dave, I would guess there's more leaning into this as AI more powerful. We're able to do more testing. It seems like there's a lot of juice on the offer optimization, offer testing when you bring people to the site.
There's so much juice, and one thing that we're about to launch is post-purchase upsells. There's just so much different stuff. You guys are steeped in this. You know all the different tactics, and you have all the different vendors, and there's so many different things that you can go do. And each one of those is an opportunity to go optimize. Like you have a post-purchase upsell. Well, let me try and figure out how to optimize that, because post-purchase upsells we know are like you have no downward pressure on conversion, because by definition they don't show up until you've already converted.
Right.
So they're great, right? So that's an opportunity. We have in checkout upsells, you have all of the like product recommendations on site. You have your whole, the color of the button. I was talking to someone who was saying, he uses the metaphor of like buns, base hits, and home runs. Like, there's going to be some of these big swings that you might take, like what the Dave Rekuch style. It's going to try and get 20% higher AOV, or you try and just get like a couple percent more conversion, and that's going to improve your efficiency. And a couple of those base hits also stack up to runs too. So I think that there's so much to do. And I think that's why AI becomes important, because it's like, it can get overwhelming. I think that like, it's like when people come to me and they're like, oh, like Adam, like what do I do? Where do I start? I mean, there's 100 questions that I need to ask you first. But that's why where you can start optimizing some of it and not have to manage each one of those things discreetly and let some of them sort of optimize themselves. That's where things start to get exciting.
Boy.
Wow.
That is exciting.
That is exciting. With AI moving so fast, I mean, how are you guys thinking about building out Intelligems? I know there's this feeling that Chris and I will have sometimes where it's like, gosh, there's just seems to be a new AI model every single day. Chris and I will send each other the new Claude model. It's like, all right, Claude shipped another thing again. All right, it's Tuesday. They shipped 4 things today.
Yeah, exactly.
How are you thinking about building out Intelligems, given the total models that are out there and how you guys see everything built out?
It's really hard and it's impossible to keep up. I heard the creator of Claude Code speak about this on Lenny's, and what he said was they're always developing their product for the model that'll exist in 6 months. And it's like, okay, the models that exist today won't quite cut it, but I know the models are going to get better. And so, hey, I'm trying to figure out how to optimize some images, and maybe the models of today aren't quite good enough at creating those images. But if I believe that in 6 months that the image generation models will be better, then I can plan for that and start building for that. And so I think that like the way we're thinking about it is, okay, like reasoning has gotten really good. Our ability to comb through data and make sense of it all has gotten really good. That is something that like we are building into our product now to like surface all of these insights. You run a test. What does all that data mean? We have all this data about your website. What does it all mean? The models can do that to some extent quite well today, and I think will continue to get better, and those insights will get better. But then what are the new form factors? Is it images? Is it entire landing pages that we can just sort of one shot really, really well? There are things that I think that these things will just be more capable in 6 months. And so it's trying to build for the model of 6 months from now.
Wow.
And one-shotting LPs,
it's a scary
crazy
concept.
Work. It's crazy work.
It's a crazy world.
That's a crazy world.
Yeah. I mean,
go.
Why not? I guess
exactly.
I think why couldn't you? I think we're going to spin up a new landing page for an AI product that we're launching. And I was on vacation last week with my kids for spring break, and I was by the pool. My kids, I have a 3-year-old, and I was trying to make sure he didn't drown. And I'm like on my phone talking to Claude Code, who's like building a landing page for me, and I'm like from my phone, and it's only April.
Wow.
It's unbelievable. Yeah.
I mean, Adam, you can't say those words about new product AI release. I mean, it just gets us excited. It makes us want to know, what's coming. I don't know if there's anything you can sprinkle on top of that, Adam, or if it's all top secret right now. That's okay if it is.
I mean, I think, I can definitely talk to it, which is that what I believe is that this vision of you install Intelligems or you log into Intelligems, you have really specific data-backed recommendations. You can approve them and they turn into experiments that are generated for you automatically, and you get those updates automatically. Like that's going to be a reality very, very soon. And
that's
you
crazy.
like the people that use Intelligems will tell you that it's a great tool, but there's work and there's mental load and there's effort and you have to be skilled. And well, what if you could take away some of those skill requirements because we have a system with expertise infused into it? What if you didn't need a developer? I was talking to a very, very large brand. They were like, I can't advocate for my developer hours. And so I'm using this other A/B testing software that says that I can buy developer hours at $100 an hour. And so I'm going to use that because I can run tests on my own schedule because I can just go commission, 10 developer hours for $100 an hour. It's like, well, what if you didn't need 10 developer hours? What if there was just the Claude SDK running in the background? And that kind of like mind shift is something that I think is going to start happening more and more for more people and will be more possible when you're using Intelligems.
Okay, Adam, what you are talking about here is so exciting for me because when I was at Bruce Bolt, essentially I was the entire marketing team. And it was a rocket ship. And we were doing everything we could to hold on to that thing and make sure it all stayed together as we continued to climb. But that whole experience, it gave me a deep burden for all of the one-man marketing teams out there. And I really believe that is the future. I believe it's the now. And it sounds like what you're developing with Intelligems, able to release mental load. Hey, I log in and hey, here's what's happening on the website. We should test this. We should try that. We should spin this up. And I can say, yes, do it. That is exactly what the D2C marketing world needs. Release that mental load. Yes, go. Give me updates, and let's keep humming and running. That's exactly what the moment needs.
Yeah, well, great. I mean, I'm glad that that's what you feel like we need because that's what we're building, and that's what we're releasing. So
I think so.
Let's go.
I think so.
Let's go. I mean, I'm excited.
Baby. Wow.
I'm very amped.
Could you talk to us? I'm sure you guys see basically a metric ton of data from the 10,000 foot view. Could you talk a little bit about basically the trends that you're seeing from a pricing and offer standpoint that are actually working for the today and how that's shifted the last maybe 2 or 3 years from what it used to be till now it's today? This is the playbook they should be running.
Yeah, I think one thing that we haven't seen as much as might be reported in headlines, at least in the data that we're seeing, is like this inflationary pressure. And like, yes, prices have gone up and we see inflation numbers in the news. But again, when we look at those numbers, it's important to contextualize that it's like 3%, 5% is high inflation. And that's not necessarily like the biggest price changes, although those can have big impacts on your bottom line. I would say that prices have stayed relatively stable in the data that we've seen over the course of the last year or two, despite a lot of the tariff stuff. A lot of people have gone up, some people have gone down. And it turns out, by the way, for a lot of folks, when they lower their price, the conversion offsets the pricing change and they end up making more money just by the sheer increase in volume despite the lower pricing. And so that's where A/B testing can help with some of that. But what I would say the playbook that I'm seeing that I'm really excited about is around personalization and being able to say, okay, instead of me offering the same discount to everyone that comes to the site or running the same promo for Memorial Day weekend, I'm going to do something where certain people get this one discount. It might be 20% off. And my VIPs are going to get access to this other discount that might be a little bit more exclusive. And we want those discounts to run on a more personalized basis, avoid the leakage, avoid sort of the like one size fits all of it. And let's run some A/B tests to figure out who responds better, what traffic, what does my Facebook traffic, what does my email traffic respond to these different discounts, and try and figure out what is the most efficient discount for the different pieces of traffic. And I think that actually the biggest leverage that you can get is around personalization and being a little bit more targeted rather than trying to one size fits all everything.
I love that.
Yeah, I think the the thing that I have always a principle I've tried to take heed of as a marketer is always keep it simple, keep it clear, keep it simple, stupid, all this. But I think what you're describing here allows a level of complexity that again takes the mental load and burden off of my shoulders. I think what you would want is to be able to execute that flawlessly. This segment gets this offer, this segment gets that offer. We get the results, and then, hey, boss man, this is what happened. Here's what we're going to do next based upon that. I mean, if you can do that without making me look like a dummy because I messed up some code or all those kind of things, then that's a big advantage.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that the whole point behind Intelligems, well, first of all, trying to make that easy and make that automatic so you don't have to mess up the code and not look like a dummy. But from the point of view of not looking like a dummy, all the data is here. So it's like, hey, we're going to try something and we're going to learn. And so we're going to just get better and better every time we do this. And, there's always going to be, if you try something new on a Memorial Day sale and it doesn't work or it does work, or it's like, well, what was it? Was it our ad copy? Was it some other competitive thing that was being run that our competitors were doing that was different than last year? Like, how do we know whether or not it's working if we just try something new? And there's always just going to be so much noise in any signal we're trying to measure. But when you run it with an A/B test and you have the data behind it, it's a lot easier to be like, okay, well, here's exactly how these two things stack up apples to apples. And I can be a little bit smarter and even if it didn't work, hopefully what you tried and your idea works. But even if what you tried didn't work, at least you have data and you can look smart about it. It's like, okay, I can be smart about this and not look like a dummy.
What I have always wanted to exist, Adam, whenever I think of you guys, especially your kind of dynamic pricing background, what I've always wanted to exist is some kind of website like Supreme, or they were so hot with their drops. I don't know if they still are, but they used to be, at least. Or the Masters, the Masters merch is crazy. At a certain time of the year, everybody wants it. I have always wanted there to be some website that literally has dynamic pricing changing every few minutes based on
that would be wild.
How much inventory is available and all the things. I think if that ever does exist on the internet, I think it's going to be you guys that power that thing.
If that ever exists, it'll be us. I don't know that it'll exist exactly in that form, but I think where it's going to go is maybe the prices aren't all different, but people are getting different discounts. There's different special offers, I think that's something that's already happening today. And we see that you and I each open up our DoorDash and we're going to order food. We're going to see the same menu prices, but you might get a special offer for a free delivery or $5 off. That's different than my offer. And neither of us are batting an eye to that. And so I think that there's some consumer acceptance around some of the discounts and offers that can be a little bit more dynamic. And that's where we're starting, at least. Cause I think that we've seen the blowback when Wendy's announced dynamic pricing, and there was a lot of a lot of hoopla around that. And there was recently Instacart, and there was some different prices for eggs that made the New York Times. And so people, I think, are a little bit more sensitive when they feel like they're being taken advantage of or gouged on things like this. But when it's an offer, I think that there's different special offers for different people. We just talked about personalization of offers, and I think there's a little bit more opportunity to go dynamic and something like that. And happy hours, dynamic pricing for restaurants. And
that's true.
I love that. I love the idea of looking at it from dynamic offers and not dynamic pricing, because you will get a ton of blowback from dynamic pricing. I mean, history is just bathed in people trying to do this, and they're like, yeah, this will work this time, we should do dynamic pricing, and then it just never works out for them, and they're like, we should try this again.
It worked out
for
Uber
this time,
right? It's worked out.
Well, yeah, A little bit, yeah, a little bit with that, with Uber.
No, and
workstations.
I do think that there's like places, hotel rooms, it's like flights.
Yeah.
The person sitting next to you on your United flight, you would never be surprised if that person paid twice as much or half as much as you did.
Normal.
But like for a t-shirt, if someone else bought this J. Crew shirt for a different price than I did, that would make me mad.
Yeah, you'd be upset about that for sure.
Well, man, I love the complexity that you guys are enabling in the AI era for marketers at scale, everyone in our space. And I love the things that you guys are engineering on the offer side. And man, we look forward to having you back and talking this game more. Tell us now, though,
this
Adam.
Was so fun.
People want to find you, talk with you, work with you. Where do they go? How do they get started with Intelligems? All that jazz.
If you're on Shopify, you can install our app. You can go to our website and book a demo. We've got awesome people behind that. No AI demos yet. So still real people. Still real people. Every time you go book a demo, that you'll get a chance to talk to. I'm Adam at Intelligems.io. So like, just shoot me an email, and would love to continue the conversation. This has been super fun, guys. Thanks for having me.
Talk to the man himself. Thanks, Adam. We look forward to having you back, brother.
Ooh.
He's wired up.
He's wired up. I love that idea of fully personalized offers based off of, customer demographic, customer, data that you have. The data that we're getting is only getting more and more rich. And this gets me going, Chris. When we start talking about customer data, I get excited. And so it's only getting more and more rich as the AIs are just constantly getting better. And so they're just on the forefront of all this stuff. This is amazing.
Yeah, I like the work that they are doing to empower the Superman marketer, the one-man marketing team, the cracked founder, the person with their hands on the controls and intense mental load. We all know that work in 2026, laptop work, if you're doing it well, utilizing all the tools, it's not getting easier, it's getting more intense. The floor is getting raised for productivity, what one can do, what one is capable of accomplishing. And so being able to, these changes, these tests, hey, here's what the report says based on this. Here's our ideations based on what we see happening, inside of our tool across other brands. Yes, let's do that. Let's run it. Yeah. Let's take a few bunts here, and then let's make a big swing there for Memorial Day. All of that makes all the sense in the world. And it seems like they're doing something truly, truly unique and powerful for those who are inside the game.
That's huge. That's huge.
Next, we have Tyler Simmons, the man behind the viral new freshly Shark Tank invested Bucket Golf. We're bringing him in here to talk ball together. But before he comes, let's talk about Insense. Ladies and gentlemen, don't we all want better ads? Yes, we do. We do. And we'd love it if there was an actual human involved. That would be great. A good creator who knows what they're doing. But let's be honest, that process is so disjointed, actually finding a creator manually, negotiating usage rights, etc. It's a headache. That's why Insense exists. It is the all-in-one UGC and influencer marketing platform, okay? An actual vetted creator marketplace, not just you finding them, but them applying to you. Yes. We're talking about automated influencer outreach, building campaign management, content delivered in as little as 14 days. So much better than just finding a random TikTok and hoping that it changes the trajectory of your business. This is like real relationships with real creators and getting creative that can really scale. They have just released the UGC Playbook 2.0. CEO Daniil was on the show talking about it, why the era of Andromeda is good and modular UGC is the path forward. Go to that URL, test drive the platform for free. Get on there, tell them Colin and I sent you. You'll be glad that you did. Many thanks for Insense being part of the show. Now, I like this guy. Even though I've yet to talk with him, I like this guy because sports background. Okay. He's a D1 college athlete. I'll have to verify that, but that is my understanding. Okay. And what he has done is created a new lawn game of sorts that not only do I think it's going to sweep across the country, but I actually think that they could. I actually think they could stand up like new kind of putt courses that are not putt. It's actually better than putt. I'm talking about the one and only Tyler Simmons, founder of Bucket Golf. Tyler, get in here. Get inside the show, Tyler. Get in here. There he is.
Oh. Let's go.
There he is. Tyler, how you doing, brother? Welcome to the show.
I'm doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Yeah, man, we're glad that you have come. Now, Tyler, you have to tell me if this is true, okay? What I have heard is that Bucket Golf, you kicked it off first 3 years. I think we were looking at about 5,000 in sales. That's what I've heard. Now, man, you guys are on a rocket ship. You've been on Shark Tank, and you've got Mark Cuban, and you've got Lori as investors, and now we're up and to the right, and we're headed to the moon. Man, tell me, I mean, is that the case? And brother, if it is, how did you keep this thing going when you only had 5K in sales the first 3 years? I mean, that is dogged persistence, my friend.
That is 100% confirmed, and honestly, 5,000 may be an exaggeration. I don't even know. It may be lower than that. But yes, that is pretty much how it started, because I had zero background in any of this at all. So just kind of tried to figure it out as on the side gig while I was working still regular job. I just couldn't quite figure it out for a while, honestly. So that's but obviously kept going because I thought it was an awesome product, awesome game.
Yeah.
I knew there's definitely a way. I just couldn't figure out how to do it for a while. And then finally, obviously, found my path and figured it all out. Took a while though.
How did this come to be? I mean, were you just, did you just like kind of come up with the idea out on the lawn, or were you at the beach? How did you come up with this idea, Tyler?
So the idea is actually not even my idea, which is interesting enough. So it's my sister-in-law's family came up with the idea. They used to make these homemade sets. They looked way different than the ones that we actually sell now, like completely different materials, everything. You had to go to about 10 different stores, like arts and craft stores, to try to put one of these babies together. And I played one, and then I was like, oh, where can I buy the set? And they're like, oh, it's not real. Like we made this thing. I was like, what? It's really the best game I've ever played. So I Google everywhere, try to find it. I'm like, oh, it actually doesn't exist. This is really just like a homemade, like made up thing. So that's kind of how it came to be. And then try to like figure out how to actually make it into a real consumable product that's portable, you can ship, and all this stuff is like why it took so long to kind of like figure it all out. But yeah, that's how it actually started. Was sister-in-law's family made this homemade set for people.
Yeah, maybe that's why they say family first, Tyler. You got to keep them around in case they have any brilliant ideas. Go ahead, Colin.
Yes, family.
What I love about this is you can basically take the golf course anywhere you want. If you want to go on the side of a beach, you can do that. If you want to go on the side of a mountain, if you want to do it anywhere is now your golf course to practice golf. I know you've probably seen some crazy locations just from customers or any influencers. Could you talk a little bit about where you maybe have gotten something back where it's just absolutely unbelievable? You can't realize the fact that you're now on the side of, XYZ thing.
Yeah, we've had some pretty crazy course sets up. We just had one of the craziest ones. I think someone who already has Bucket Golf and is playing just sent us a message, and they are, I think, hiking Machu Picchu, and they have so they're like, we got to set up a course here. We love the game, and this would be the coolest location to set a course up. And we're like, done. Yeah, that would be an insane place to set the course up.
Wow.
And play. But that's probably the craziest one. And then other than that, just all over. People set it up in the winter on just frozen ice courses.
That's a great
they set it up and play everywhere that you could possibly possibly think of. And yeah, that's the best part about the game. You can play golf anywhere and give you that kind of like that high of golf just anywhere. You don't have to go to the actual course.
Yeah.
Tyler, bring us into getting on Shark Tank. Okay. Which that is like, momentous occasion. Okay. You're like enshrined in, the DTC Hall of Fame. Okay. If you get on Shark Tank. Okay. Tell us about this, the thing that's brilliant to me about this is that, of course, you're selling fun, you're selling like family interaction, you're selling like an enterable way for your kids to get into a form of golf that they might like. But take us into getting on Shark Tank. And I know everybody and their mom on the show wanted a piece and wanted to get in on bucket golf. Man, what was that like? And why did Mark and Lori take the plunge? I mean, what was compelling to them?
Yeah, so getting on the show is takes forever. The amount of stuff you have to send, it pretty much becomes a full-time job with like the amount of stuff that's required to send over when you're trying out and like all the videos and stuff. But obviously, yeah, it's like or at least it was one that like I watched Shark Tank all the time before, 10 years plus before I'd ever gone on. So it was a dream of mine to go on the show. We got the email, freaked out. I was like, no way, is this actually real Shark Tank? Because you get so many spam emails of people like sending stuff. I had to like confirm 10 times, like, no, this is the real Shark Tank. Here's the show, right? I was like, this isn't like some side gig. Like, no, this is the real show. Because I think we had gotten some before of like, oh, this is a former Shark Tank person. And we're like, oh, it's not the real show. Like, I knew it could too good to be true. But yeah, I went through the whole process, lucky enough to like get all the way and actually to the show, because apparently you can get like right before the show, they can tell you like, hey, we got too many people and you're not going on. Like even the day of, they tell you like sometimes we have too many people and the Sharks, like a pitch goes long and sometimes you get cut. Like you're literally there in LA and you can get cut.
Crazy.
So gotta have luck go your way to like actually get on the show. And then yeah, I went out there and got lucky that everybody seemed to like what we had and brought, and nothing went too terribly wrong. I had to hit a shot in the beginning to hopefully show them how fun the game was, and just thought like, God, I hope I don't mess this up and hit it terribly.
Brutal. Yeah.
But yeah, I got Mark and Lori were the two. So we actually only got Mark. Lori was the one who said, I will take the same deal, because we had Mark who offered us not exactly, wanted a little bit higher. Then Lori came and said, I'll take that deal you're offering. And then Mark matched it. And we were like, okay, Mark is a little bit more sporty and we thought he'd be a little bit of a better fit. Yeah. That's why we chose Mark. But it was close between the two of them in the end.
I love it, man. I love it.
Wow. And so after that episode aired, I mean, you broke your daily sales record. You did, 50 times your normal volume. What does that look like behind the scenes on the operations side? And did anything break? Because obviously it's basically like putting napalm right on the store at one day. I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Is that true, Tyler? 50 times like your usual record? I mean, is that what you guys did sales wise? I mean, that's insane.
I don't know if it was actually the full 50 times.
Okay, all right.
It definitely breaks. It breaks everything, because at that point you're not ready. Or I mean, you try to be as ready as you possibly can. Yeah. Lucky for us, we actually had, before Shark Tank, we had a viral video got 25 million views. Whoa. And I think it had close to like 1 million shares on Instagram. And that broke everything for us before the show even aired.
Seriously.
So we had our whole team of like 6 people in the warehouse from 7 a.m. until like 8 p.m. trying to ship orders out to stay on track and like keep the momentum going. And that pretty much broke everything for us. So we kind of learned from there how to be a little bit better before Shark Tank happened. And then obviously you get to like prep, 2 weeks in advance. So to kind of get a little bit of a head start on the game. So yeah, got a little bit lucky. So we fully broke then. So when Shark Tank aired, we had already had something like that happen, to where it didn't like fully destroy us this time. And we like stayed on top of it a little bit better. But it is, yeah, it's good problems to have when something like that happens. And just
crazy,
like, your whole entire system.
Crazy.
That's unbelievable. Could you talk a little bit about that video? I mean, was that a personal video in-house, or was that an influencer video? And what was actually the content of that made it go, I mean, so bonkers viral? 25 million views is no joke.
It was the biggest video still we've had today, and still trying to replicate it. It's like, you get it once and then you're like, I just got to get a bunch more of those and I'm going to be at $100 million. It's like,
I just do that a couple times.
They would happen more often. But yeah, that video was actually something I just edited together myself. I play a lot of bucket golf, my family and friends. So I just have so much footage on my phone. And it was just a video that I edited. I saw someone do something similar for a different sports product, which I think is where a lot of the best viral clips come from, is just not like stealing clips, but taking inspiration from somebody else you see. It could be completely different field and then making your own version of it. And that's kind of how it happened, is I just made my own version of something else I liked. And then I literally went on my phone and I was like, holy crap, there's like 2 million views in 2 hours. Like, what is happening? Is this broken? And then I kept on having to check, and yeah, it just exploded. This video just went off. So all stars aligned. It was like early May when summer, Father's Day is about to happen, graduation is about to happen. Just like everything kind of collided at the same time. And I think that's what led to the 25 million view video. But yeah, if only we could get a couple more of those babies.
That is wild, man.
Wow. That's crazy.
What's crazy too is that you cook that up yourself.
Exactly.
It's like, let me get here on my phone. I mean, that's nitty gritty DTC, baby. I mean, that's the real deal.
Yeah.
Wow. So tell me, I would imagine, you know, at the time prior to Shark Tank, I would imagine you guys have been selling on the internet, doing everything that you can via the website, probably Amazon too, is my guess. And what do things look like now post investment? And are you guys in retail stores? What's been the trajectory here forward, and how have things changed?
Yes, we were definitely heavy website, heavy Amazon. Before Shark Tank, we had Shields was our best retailer before Shark Tank. They kind of took a chance on us. They were really the only ones willing to. And we took over Shields stores. We have an entire like wall of bucket golf in Shields. They are amazing partners. Like, they are awesome. I love Shields. And then these other guys kind of wouldn't really fully give us a chance. We were talking to a lot of them. But they weren't quite sold on the idea. They're like, I don't know, like maybe we've had a lot of people fail in this way. And we were like, all right, we understand. And then, yeah, once Shark Tank hit, all of them were like, all right, let's give you a try, get in here. And then since that happened, like we went into Dick's, we went into PJ Superstore, a bunch of other, those are like the two bigger ones. And just immediately all the stuff sells out and they can't keep us in stock on the shelves really. And I wasn't sure how it was going to go, because I was like, I don't really know. I've heard a lot of people kind of like talking, is it going to go well in retail? Is it not? Like, sometimes you get in and you don't sell and then you're back out. But luckily it did go very well for us. And just like, we're in every single Dick's Sporting Goods store now, and they can't really keep us on the shelves. And I think it's probably because our organic social media is kind of that's where we're always built from. Is like, we started with organic because I didn't really know how to do ads early on, as I only knew how to do organic social media. So that's kind of where we built our whole entire thing, was organic social first. And I guess it is a good recipe in retail, is a lot of people see it organically and then go into the store and buy it.
I think this is something that we have seen again and again, is that heat online, heat on the internet, it drives purchases in stores. I mean, it drives purchases in retail. If you got physical heat going on Instagram, on TikTok, etc., there's spillover, and it drives footsteps. It drives people to go inside of Dick's and inside Shields and pick you up there. That's incredible, man.
Yeah. It's been awesome.
You're a D1 athlete, is that correct?
Yes, I was a D1 lacrosse player.
There we go.
So I mean, we had the guys of Pretty Boy on. They're also D1, and that kind of let them kind of use that network, and they eventually got Trey Hendrickson as one of the larger faces of their brand. How are you thinking about that? I mean, you for sure have this treasure trove of athletes in your network, and I'm sure they're all hyper coordinated where they could be amazing for you specifically, and in that roster, giving them product seeding. How are you thinking about that, and are you trying to pull that lever hard right now?
So I actually started, the first company I ever started was lacrosse training equipment. We still do it as well. So definitely works a little bit better there. Lacrosse, I have a bunch of friends who play pro lacrosse and who are a bunch of like the top guys. Lacrosse, I think, is a little different than a lot of the other like big time sports, where people don't really know who a lot of the best lacrosse players are. So they definitely, a lot of them play bucket golf, and I've sent them all sets, and they're super helpful. And they're really good at it too. But it hasn't played too much in our strategy, mostly just because, yeah, they're not. It's not the same as an NFL like guy where he just has like so many eyes on him. But that is one interesting thing though we've seen is like I kept thinking if we got this big name person, it would help explode us so much. And we've gotten like worked with a couple big name people who, whatever, they'll send us a message like, hey, I love bucket golf, like whatever, 10 million followers, famous pro NFL players, like Ed Reed was one of them. Like we sent him bucket golf sets, and he reached out to us and was like, this is sick. And like a bunch of other guys on that level, and thinking it was going to kind of like explode us. And it doesn't do as much as I thought it would do. I don't know why, because like obviously these guys are like amazing. Everyone knows who these guys are, but I'm not quite sure why. So we haven't really trekked down that path that much. We've gone more of like maybe this person who has 1,000 followers and happens to love golf and bucket golf, and they can get 5 million views faster than like someone with a 5 million person account, with the way that social media has kind of worked recently. Like anyone can get views if they do a good job. And it almost seems more authentic coming from a random person in their backyard than like a bigger name guy who maybe people think like, oh, like they probably paid them to do that. So I don't know. That's just like our path. I know obviously other people have had different success with using like a bigger name guy like those guys you were talking about. But for us, maybe it's a backyard game where people just don't really, you don't really care if a famous person plays it or not. Maybe I'm not quite sure why, but that's just like the results we've seen when we've tried stuff like that, though.
And sometimes the best results just come when Tyler goes out to the backyard and takes the phone with him. Sometimes that's what happens. That's what happens. Okay, Tyler, tell us, man, what's coming 2026 and beyond, man. What are you excited about? You're in Dick's now. I would guess that's like 180. That's like 180 plus doors there, I would imagine. What's coming in 2026 that you're excited about? Do you ever see, bucket golfs becoming the new wave of putt-putts that happen across the United States, or what's coming? What are you excited about this year and beyond?
Yeah, for sure. So we are thinking a lot about, and this is because people have already started to do it themselves, is we started to talk a lot about tournaments and leagues with bucket golf, just because it's so much easier. Like you finish work and I can just go and play in a little bucket golf league. I love golf myself, so I'll play real golf at any moment, anytime. But it's like you got to commit. You got to drive however far to get to the course. It gets dark. People have family. People have kids. There's a lot of stuff going on, so you can't always get to the course. So we've seen people start these like after work leagues in the spring and the summer, where they'll just get 20 people together on Wednesday and play a bucket golf league. And then, so that's one thing we're starting to try to just help the community organize and get these things and find each other better to get more tournaments and leagues going on to try to just increase the game along with some new products that we're coming out with to help expand the game. But that's kind of what we're really excited about for 2026. Maybe get on ESPN8, the Ocho, with some of these.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, they got cornhole championships on ESPN, the Ocho. There needs to be bucket golf championships, darts. Epic entries, all of that. I mean, we need the Stone Cold Steve Austin breaking the glass music, and then people walking out. I think that's a great idea. I love the league play. That's super smart. It's very fitting. I mean, community based. Reward people who do well. That's great.
Selfishly, I want to see you at the Masters next year. We saw Maben Golf do a house at the Masters. I want to see you guys have a house next year. Like, when is that going to be happening? We can all set up, get some great content. I mean, come on, let's do it.
That is the dream for sure to be at the Masters one way or another, whether it's with bucket golf or not. But that would be unreal. I don't know if that's quite up their alley. They might be like, get out of here with that game. This is a real
No, it's accessible. It's helping the sport be more accessible to everybody who's not Roy McIlroy that shoots, a 45 and is
Yeah.
unbelievable, and just, me who's terrible at golf will, feel great.
We'll have Jason Kelsey and his kids over there, playing
Oh my
bucket
gosh.
golf, as people are making their way to Augusta.
Absolutely.
Well, Tyler, man, we love what you're doing. And I think this league play so smart. I can see it. I can see it in my mind's eye. I can see it happening in my neighborhood right now. People would eat it up. And twice on Sunday, man, we appreciate you coming on the show. We're going to stay tuned, and we look forward to having you back, brother.
Awesome. Thanks for having me, guys. It was fun.
Appreciate it, man. That's a go.
I mean, just the content piece of that, where you can make so much incredible content at some of the most incredible locations and basically just bring golf anywhere. I mean, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. Yeah.
It is. It seems like a very highlight worthy, easy to capture, funny happenings, bouncing the thing off the flag, it bopping out and then bumping back in. There's got to be a lot of highlightable clips and moments for that 2-year-old hitting a hole in one. There's got to be a lot of things around that.
It reminds me of the viral videos that Dude Perfect used to put out of their hole-in-ones, their basketball hole-in-ones. Is like you could do a whole series just off of that, of crazy shots, and you're going off of the side of a skyscraper, boom, in there. Unbelievable.
I think the league play makes a ton of sense,
so much sense
for them. Allow some dads to have their moment. Get out there, win the neighborhood, win the city, win the super regional, and then get on ESPN the Ocho with their team of dads, and maybe they're having a happy dad while they play. I think there's a lot of kind of family friendly entry points there for their game and their products.
It's so good. It's super smart. I love it.
Super smart. Well, before we have Michael Brandt of Ketone IQ come to us, let's talk about Seguno and hit a story. Let's talk about Seguno, ladies and gentlemen. Seguno is the only marketing suite, ladies and gentlemen, that lives entirely inside of Shopify. What does that mean? It means your emails, your reviews, your banners, etc. It's all lives right there where you already work and play. And it means you don't have to trust in some duct tape together data integration that hopefully is verifiably syncing your segmentation, etc., back and forth. Your Shopify data is your email data. They are one in the same. This is email 3.0, and it's why Seguno won the 2024 Shopify Build App of the Year. Okay. One-click automations, actual humans that can help you. If you don't have a full-time email marketer on your team, Seguno was built for you. Lean teams, big aspirations. They have just released the advanced Shopify segmentation playbook. Go to the URL scrolling across the screen, seguno.com, advanced-shopify-segmentation-playbook. They'll also let you test drive this platform for free, okay? Get on there, feel it out, see how it works for you. Tell them Colin and I sent you a little extend that free trial to 30 days. Many thanks for Seguno being part of the show. Now, before Michael comes to us, I think that we should hit a specific story here that I am very excited about. I think it is as American as apple pie. That is my firm belief. And I'm talking about the new CPG collaboration between Pabst Blue Ribbon and Grillo Pickles. I know I'm throwing a shocker at you, Jack, but you got to find this one for us. Look at this. Look at this creation that has been brought to us via another wild collaboration that we know absurdity equals virality, PBR, and Grillo's Pickles, delicious pickles, by the way. I mean, you just drink the juice straight from the container. I've gotten them many times at Costco. They are my favorite. I always drink the juice. I do. I drink the juice after the pickles are gone. They are releasing a limited edition pickle beer. That is correct. Pabst Blue Ribbon, Grillo's Pickles. This collab will be available at retailers nationwide starting on May 4th, in time for Cinco de Mayo, should somebody want to partake at Cinco de Mayo. I think this one is bound to go nuclear, and an incredible idea. Wish I had come up with it myself, and I think it's going places. Colin, your thoughts?
This is a great collaboration. I absolutely hate pickles, and so I'm probably not the person for this. But this is a great collaboration with two really good brand names. And I'm sure the actual branding of this. So you see the branding of the can. You also see the branding of the actual box that it's coming in is really great. It also catches your eye really well. And it kind of sparks some curiosity where you're like, wait, what is that? What are you drinking over there? What's going on over there? That's really interesting. Why do you have a pickle on it? And I think this is going to be a huge hit. I know there's a ton of folks that are just obsessed with pickles. And so you are just going to absolutely gobble up that demographic.
There's something about that vinegary, there's something about it that just, wow. I mean, I probably eat pickles most days, actually. Most days of the week.
Oh,
I would say
gosh.
probably 4-5 days of the week, I find a way to eat pickles. I probably do.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Back in the old fraternity days, we'd have to get pickle shots at the bar. And that was just not fun.
Not your favorite.
No,
Well,
not at all.
I think you'll like this one. I found something that people are selling on Whatnot, and Whatnot is out of control. Look at the live crabs that people are selling and crushing with on Whatnot. This tweet comes to us from the Pack Addict 97. Whatnot is out of control. They are selling spider crabs that are not guaranteed to arrive alive. That's special. You got to include that. Not guaranteed to arrive alive. They are selling fresh California spider crabs shipped from the docks to the door. Look at that. Listen to that. Shipped from the docks to the door. This is caught somewhere in California. I don't know. Is it San Francisco? I don't know where spider crabs live, but people are eating this up. It's got 154 shares. I'm looking at the comments. It's a monster. Does the meat taste good? and selling for $39 a pop.
Unbelievable. I mean, do you know about the Fulton Fish Market in New York City?
No.
This is an unbelievable fish market. It's like the top fish market in the entire world. You got to get there at like 1 a.m. It smells like fish. The top restaurants in all of New York City order from there at like 2 a.m. It's live selling. It's a whole hall of fish guys, and they all have their little kiosks set up, and you got little salmons and stuff like that. And this is like that, except online. And I would implore some of those folks that are at that Fullerton Fish Market that get up at 1 a.m. to maybe try to sell on Whatnot a little bit instead of getting up at that time. But it's a super wild industry. I mean, absolutely crazy.
I am so bullish on this because it is core to the American consumer, core to American culture. We all want to be entertained. We want to be entertained, and we want to find a deal. And this is like the 2026 version of going to whatever fish market you just mentioned.
Fullerton Fish Market.
I can do it from my couch. I can do it from my couch, and I can order spider crab for mommy and me, and it'll come on in, and I'll cook that thing up for dinner, and mommy and all the girls will be very happy. Okay, we have founder of Ketone IQ coming in here. Okay, this guy is a serious operator and a serious athlete. And like, come to find out, he's worked with, I mean, some of literally the goats of several categories. Okay. Huberman. Okay. John Jones. The literal goat of MMA. Okay. And now everybody's taking his product. I have to say, even with my athletic background, I didn't even know what ketones were. Okay. I did not.
Yeah.
But he is bringing the good news to market and to the American consumer and beyond. We must welcome to the show Michael Brandt of Ketone IQ. Michael, get in here. Get in here. There he is.
Fired in.
How are you doing?
Michael, boy, we're glad to have you on here, man. Appreciate you making the time and joining us. Brother, you have got to give us perspective on carving the path that you have. I think that category creation, one of the hardest things in consumer to do, and I really believe you have done it. I played football at the University of Texas way back when. There it is. I see it. I played football at the University of Texas, and we had every kind of doodad and nutritional what. And brother, I didn't even know what ketones were. Man, give us perspective on getting this thing going, how you've gotten to where you are today, and also, man, how you're educating athletes and consumers along the way without them getting lost in the science.
That's a great question, and thanks guys for having me on. It's good to be here.
Of course.
Category creation, not for the faint of heart at all. It's definitely a different style of entrepreneurship where in any category, if you're creating 80+% of the demand for something that planet Earth hasn't seen before, you're also the de facto global coordinator of that supply chain. And this goes for anything. Coconut water, Nutella owns a third of the world's hazelnut farms. Like if you are the dominant demand generator, and that is just a priori true, if you created a new category, then you have the job responsibility, you get to / have to create all that demand and also figure out how to service it. And what's exciting about it is that you're doing something really new. Your first tracks in the snow. True. You can create a multi-billion-dollar category and own it and be first mover. We own Ketone.com. We're at Ketone on social media. We have a lot of moat on the brand side, IP side, all that good stuff. So it definitely takes a certain metal to it. And so I always put an asterisk next to any advice I'm getting that giving that look, you're doing like a celebrity backed hydration stick brand. Like don't listen to anything I'm saying. Cause I'm not doing it's a totally different playbook. And not, it's all good. There's a lot of ways to create value in this world. So I'm not even here to, that's not a diss at all. It's just like, there's different playbooks. So anything I have to say is within, we like Vital Proteins. They created collagen as a nutritional primitive. I love, my favorite book is the Gatorade book. Like they made electrolytes a thing. The Florida Gators, they went and studied them and showed that they were sweating out more than just water. And it's like, hey gents, what if we put that salty stuff into a drink so you could replenish that? And that was back in the 1960s. And now electrolytes are a $30-40 billion category. So if you're into that kind of that's it's just a different motion than I would say other types of categories, and very much what we're doing here at Ketone IQ.
And Michael, this isn't your first forte. I mean, you originally founded NutriBox, which I will say, you ready for this? I was an original customer of that, and I used NutriBox to build my first company in college. And I was consuming every single NutriBox every single day. I mean, how do you go from NutriBox to ketones, and then now you're getting in front of Huberman? I mean, that's just banana sandwich. I mean, it's just a crazy trajectory that you've been on.
Thank you. Yeah, we've been cooking. I studied computer science in undergrad at Stanford. And so I very much came into this world of like Silicon Valley approach to the human body. It's going to sound real nerdy for a second, but that my approach was that we're seeing the API-ification of the human body, that we are seeing a proliferation of sensors on and in the body. People are able to read their heart rate, read their blood biomarker. You can have someone come to your house and measure your blood today. That wasn't true a decade ago. Like you're seeing this Whoop, Aura, Apple Watch, Fitbit. You're able to measure your sleep score, your heart rate variability. You're able to count your footsteps in the day. You're able to see should I cut back on caffeine afternoon because it decreases my sleep quality. You're able to measure all of these aspects of your system. You're able to listen to more of the Dr. David Sinclairs and the Dr. Andrew Hubermans and whatnot. You're able to talk to ChatGPT about your own health and get feedback back in response. So there's this whole cultural shift towards health is wealth, and there's this whole set of tools around it. And then what follows from there is that people are more mindful about the inputs that they put into your system. If everything I just described is it's kind of read, like if you're thinking about an API, it's like you have read access into your body. You can know what your red blood cell count is. You can know where you're at right now today. You can know your VO2 max. how do you go and change that? Okay, well, we now have proliferation, a lot of innovation across the board. You have things that you can eat and drink. You have things that you can inject. Things that you can implant. Like the future, especially when we project out another decade, that we're seeing a lot of ability to be able to write to the human body as a system. And so that was what was always interesting and inspiring to me to get into this space on like doing something really new. Like what's a new primitive that we could bring into the human body as a system that's not just a new flavor of protein powder. One, again, like that's a fine way to make money, but just for my own personal approach to entrepreneurship, it's like I make that was fundamentally a new primitive that would be a whole new lever to pull inside of the human body as a system. And ketones are a fundamental part of our biology. All 8 billion people on planet Earth have ketones in their system. You make more of them when you fast, or if you're running, or if you're eating low carb. Whenever you push your body to your limits, you make more ketones. It's the most efficient metabolite in your system. So to me, it was that like obvious light bulb moment of like, okay, your body makes this. It's a super fuel. You turn it into cellular energy really easy inside of your body. What if you could go to the store and drink a shot of that? Wouldn't that be cool? And that was the genesis story of it. Now, years later, we're still like building it out brick by brick. We launched in Target in Q4. We just got word from them that we're expanding the end cap because it's flying off the shelves. Like we've been the number one energy supplements at Sprouts. We're crushing it on Amazon. It's like just brick by brick, but every brick, it's like we're building something that was never there before. So it's exciting.
Incredible.
That's amazing.
Incredible. So this kind of momentum, Michael, and before we get there, number one, the API-ification of the human body, that is an absolute bar that I'm going to put in my pocket. I'm putting that one in my pocket because that is a great lens. It's a great lens to see, what is happening, what's happening in culture and product and consumer, et cetera, in technology. All of this momentum that you've got now, which is tremendous. I'm sure there are some high notes there where you saw real tailwinds that just, you got into a jet stream. I would imagine when you started working with the Huberman, and I would imagine that was a big one. And he's talking about you guys. Obviously, later on down the road, you end up partnering with John Jones. And
scary guy.
The diary of the
great guy.
The diary of the CEO guy too. Tell me what it was like. You guys get into retail. You start working with Huberman. Tell me what that was like. Data wise, numbers wise. That opened more doors for you. What was that like when those kind of influencers and voices started coming on board?
Partners are a huge part of our growth playbook. I would recommend it if you're creating a new category. You got to educate. You got to work with high trust third parties to build that out. Podcasts can also work in general. You saw AG1 did a ton of work with podcasts because no one was really taking green powders before then. So you see this common fact pattern with when you're creating something really new. There's a world of difference actually between a podcast versus, some products you just put it on shelf and it flies because in 0.5 seconds, you can know what the heck Halo Top is or Zico coconut water, RX bar. It's got the dates and the nuts and the what. Like there's certain products where if you're just a better version of what the large category was already offering, it's a big TAM. And if you can immediately click, hey, this is that I used to have, but it's the lower sugar, better for you. Boom, boom. Okay, I got it. Okay, it's it's a cough drop, but it's organic. Okay, boom. Like you do not need to do a podcast circuit for that. You should probably just win on shelf in that 0.5 second impression. If you're creating something really inventive and new, then you need to think about surface areas where you can download a larger packet of information into people's brains. So even a 15, 30 second Rogan talking about how, hey, when I'm officiating UFC, that's a marathon activity for me. I'm there for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours commentating. I'm following 5-dimensional chess. It's actually 6 dimensions because I got to comment on it on top of everything that's going on inside of the octagon. I need to stay mentally sharp. That's why I have Ketone IQ. Paraphrasing kind of how he talks about it, or Dr. David Sinclair, who runs the Harvard Longevity Lab, how he talks about it. One of our partners, Stephen Bartlett, that 20 or 30 second info packet moves mountains, and something that you need to do when you're creating a new category, when there's really something to educate around what you're doing. So podcasts are a big part of it, and we're always looking for a genuine interest. Like there's a lot to it, but I can say like Stephen Bartlett, Rogan, John Jones, all these guys are like users of the product before we even got in touch. So it's you can't totally force these things. You can't just like go pay LeBron for a product he's never heard of to like sign up with it. You got to be a little bit more, there's a dance to it that best partners are people who are authentically into it and that can take time and real relationship building. You can't pay an agency to go push it. Like we do all of this stuff like I'm buddies with John Jones. I have his number in my phone, right?
Let's go, baby.
Yeah. So be careful what you say. Yeah. No, but it's like unbelievable. It's like that actual rapport, actual connectivity is something that we look for a lot when we're working with partners. Some way more than just transactional.
Could you talk a little bit about this? I mean, there's recently been some kind of breakthrough research about the effects of ketones with, Alzheimer's and how it's benefiting, the older generation. And it's absolutely unbelievable what is coming out right now. And it's kind of shattering how we're thinking about aging. How do you balance between being a kind of this sports energy company and you're doing something on the kind of the forefront of medicine? And how do you balance both those things in your head? Because you have these multiple use cases with the product now.
It's a really good question. The fact is ketones can do a lot. And when you look at a really mature category, like you look at electrolytes, there's still people that are launching brands that carve out a new segmentation positioning, right? Like we talk about Gatorade. Okay, then you had liquid IV, but then you had LMNT, but then you had instant hydration and you have dry water and you have like electrolytes are electrolyte. By and large, but what ends up happening is you get different, like, okay, well, we changed the blend a little bit. The cadence one is more for athletes and the dry water one is more for you're less active, but you still need to hydrate and it's got flavors that moms love more. So you end up in mature categories seeing a lot of, okay, like every possible use case and every possible demographic, you almost have a different brand like sitting on that. We're so new. Ketones do more than electrolytes do. So like there's a ton of places it can go and do. One of the challenges I wrap my mind around as an entrepreneur is, okay, it can do a lot, but also I need to make it really simple. So I can't on my retail package say, hey, this does everything in the kitchen sink.
Yeah.
We need to really fine tune it down. And so what we find, like in 2 words, it's brain fuel. Your brain uses a lot of ketones. Ketones turn into cellular energy that your neurons use. You just feel 30% sharper than you would otherwise. It's a focus multiplier, period. Wow. If you want to go on the 90-minute deep dive of everything that ketones can do with, because of how they provide energy to your brain, they support brain health. Because of how they provide energy to the whole body, they can help with athletic recovery if you're a serious athlete. Ketones are just so far up the triangle, up the like hierarchy of primitives, that it helps all these areas, but we really keep it focused because just from a go-to-market point of view, it's a lot easier to grok. Okay, brain fuel. Who doesn't want more energy? Okay, I want that focus multiplier, and then like secondary, tertiary, like on our website or deeper dives, you can figure out all the other things that ketones go and do. That's how we think about it.
I think this is a great point because you really do have a product that, I mean, I think it would just benefit all of humanity. I mean, it's gonna benefit everybody. But when I just look at your branding and the people that you work with and everything, I always think extreme athlete, real athlete, running, endurance, pain, focus, concentration, domination. Like that's what I think. And but I mean that is the person who probably is at the forefront. It's like, yeah, if I can unlock 20% more focus and concentration, etc., then I want it. I'm trying to optimize for performance. I mean, it almost seems like you have to stay focused for the sake of simplicity, for penetration. But I would imagine at some point there's got to be a way for the proliferation of Ketone IQ and just to reach everybody else. I don't know how you get there. I mean, but I think you got to stay focused with what you're doing.
everything in sequence, right? Nike got started and they were initially selling to track and field athletes, to runners, to joggers. It was decades before they got into basketball, tennis, everything, streetwear, everything. And so the world moves a lot faster now, for sure, with the internet and everything. So maybe not decades, but there's still a certain sequencing to things that, Hoka, a more modern running shoe, like they still started as like this ultra runner, deep niche community, got all the ultra runners on it. And now my dad wears Hokas to go grocery shopping. And so you have this Patagonia, it's Yvon Chouinard is like out there climbing the gnarliest mountains on the planet. But then like 90% of Patagonia vets are like PE bros in Manhattan, not climbing the spreadsheet today, right? Like, so you have this natural, which is an important job. Look, asset allocating, deciding where we as a society should put our dollars and cents is an important function in society. I love it. It's an important role, so no shade. But they ain't climbing Machu Picchu or whatever. So there is a natural evolution where I think it's hard for a brand to ever go more authentic. You always are headed towards more mass. So you want to start as authentic as possible. For us, that was, we initially got started in 2019. We got a $6 million contract with Special Operations Command. So working with Delta Force, Navy SEALs, like as hardcore as it gets. And then, Ironman athletes, Tour de France riders. Now we're at the spot where we're working with if you run a High Rocks every now and then, or you hit the gym a few times a week and you have a busy job that you care about being dialed for. So we're not, I wouldn't say like totally like Bubba mainstream, like just everyone, but I would say we've expanded from like the top decile to maybe the top quartile of high performers are really engaging with the brand. And so you always have that authenticity that you start with, and then that's the aspirational part of your brand that as you build out, someone might not be running an Ironman right now, but hey, if this works for an Ironman, it's going to work for me on like a busy weekend where I'm trying to get a 45-minute workout in and like drive my kids around to soccer practice. Like it's definitely going to work for me.
If it'll work for Jocko,
from what we see a lot.
If it'll work for Jocko Willink, swallowing down some ketones before he goes and fights the whole world as a frogman, then it'll work for me as I climb my spreadsheets on a pedestrian Tuesday afternoon.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great point. That's a great point, Michael. And what a way to start with the DoD like that. Wow.
Michael, could you talk a little bit about you running in the full costume and some kind of moonshots that you guys are also doing as far as the marketing standpoint? I don't think many people know what you did where you had to run. I don't know. Explain to us where this is. I mean, it was probably very uncomfortable. Please talk about a little bit about this where you did it in a full ketone outfit.
Yeah.
I haven't heard of this.
Yeah, we have this. I have this giant. It's actually in my trunk. We have this giant blow up suit. It's like you take a Ketone IQ bottle, but it's like giant, life sized,
huge
blow up of it.
Huge.
And I've been known to bust it out every now and then. That especially in the early days, is I ran the last part. I ran the LA Marathon, and like for the last mile, I whipped out the suit and just like trucked the last mile with giant suit across the finish line in it. We work a lot with the Tour de France team. So I was out in France two tours ago and was like running alongside the pro peloton, like up a hill in this giant DTC. It's fun. It's fun for a couple of reasons. Just like unignorable marketing, guerrilla marketing like that. Like when I ran with the Tour de France, I got picked up on like everything. Like it was on like international TV. Everyone, it was like on the Sports Center of the day for every coverage of the Tour de France. So like, hey, we'll take some free CPMs. Like we'll take all day. And then I think it's also like as we grow and scale, it's less about me as a like founder doing antics. Although we love antics, but it's more now I do it more. It's like almost a rallying cry for the team to let the team know, like, hey, go embarrass yourself. Like no one ever got fired here for being too cringe, too embarrassing. Like I'd rather see people taking swings. And people, when we part ways with people, it's usually because like they're flat footed and like not taking enough cracks. Like no one ever got let go of for not doing something crazy. So just like really inspiring people, like go do something crazy, like go do whatever it is. Inside of the company, go start your own, become a LinkedIn poster, put your comments out on the internet, shoot a reel every day, post that out, just like encouraging people to be really like out there, and that no one is ever more risk on than their leader. And so I think it's important to sometimes dial that to 150% so that people feel really licensed to take experiments, and that we have a safe culture around that.
I love that.
Michael, you've got a list of one-liner quotables today. And
Yeah,
that was another one. That was another one.
Man,
Jumping
I'm glad to be on the
today.
show, because otherwise, man, there's just a lot of stuff bouncing around inside of this head. I'm glad I have a civilian here.
We gotta have you on more. Michael, man, we appreciate you making the time to join us. But before you go, man, you got to tell us, man, you've been doing this for a long time now.
Yeah.
Brother, why are you still in the seat? I mean, I ask because, I mean, you know, we got the Huberman, we got John Jones, we got the Tour de France, you know, we've got all working with the DOD. I mean, now you guys are blowing up in Target. I think a lot of people would ask, like, Michael should have already sold this thing for $1 gazillion, 2 or 3 gazillion. But brother, you're still in here and running and making this thing happen. And I can tell that you're fired up and you're wired thinking about it. Brother, what keeps you in the seat, and what are you excited about here to come?
Well, look, there's a lot of reasons why people start companies. There's a lot of reasons why people sell or exit companies. I think it's great to have a platform to do cool stuff. Phil Knight over at Nike, like, it's still, you know, going to the Olympics, going to Wimbledon, like that. It's a great rocket ship to have access in. Like, Michael Brandt is not randomly buddies with John Jones. It's Michael Brandt, the CEO of Ketone IQ, is like, I'm able to develop unique relationships via that. And so I find it really fun. Like, I'm pretty go-getter, just like you guys, that, like, if I sold the business, it's like, what do I do the next day? And I think another thing for maybe entrepreneurs to keep in mind is that it's not this binary thing of like, okay, you sell your business entirely and you wipe your hands and walk away. That there's other ways to rotate capital. It's a common thing where people will, you know, you can sell 10% of your earnings. You can have, like, get a nest egg and then, like, keep going on your business. So there is, I think sometimes people think about it as like, okay, I'm broke, and then I'm going to sell my business and be a trillionaire. It's like, yo, there's, like, if you're running a good business, there's capital options along the way where you can kind of have your cake and eat it too. Like, you can get, most people working really hard on trying to get some kind of, like, liquidity in their personal bank account. Absolutely. It's like, but you can get that without selling your business all the way. And so you do see a lot of that when you look closely, a lot of these transactions where people you know, take a large round, or they sell a big chunk of their business, whatnot, or even sometimes sell the majority of your business. In any of these cases, a lot of times the entrepreneur, like what I'm just describing here, like how I am, like, they want to still stay in it, and like there's intangibles of being part of it that they stay connected to.
I love that.
Well, I think that's a great answer. I think that's a great answer, and I would feel the same. I would feel the same. Hey, let's say I sell, I get the big whatever, then, like, what do I do tomorrow?
I guess I build another company. You know what I mean? It's like, I guess I build another. Oh,
yeah.
Michael, we appreciate you making the time and coming on, and man, we appreciate what you're doing, man, for athletes and humans at large, brother. Brain fuel, unlocking concentration en masse, and we look forward to having you back, brother. We appreciate you coming.
Yeah, anytime. Chris, Colin, appreciate it.
Very good. Wired. It's what I mean. Just going through all of those is every single one of those stories that he talked about would be good for one company to have. And he has multiple stories across a single company where just one of those stories would be a company making story. You work with the DOD. That's a company making story. You get John Jones. That's a company making story. You get Huberman. That's a company making story. Like, it keeps going, and it's all under one house. And he is just crushing this thing day in and day out. He's dialed in. One of the best founders in the space that needs to be talked about a ton more.
You know, I think what came out again and again that I was impressed with is category creation. Wouldn't recommend it for everyone, but
so hard.
That's the bet that he wanted to make. He wanted to create something entirely new that could, you know, benefit humanity en masse. But obviously got to start in a very focused way. and unlock 20% additional focus for the brain, and allow performance to increase the APIification of the human body. And he is obviously so focused and just gigged up about that. Like, this is what he wants to do. I mean, I'm sure there's easier companies that he could have started and won with.
Yeah.
He wants to create the category, and he wants to be the leader, and have that big mover mentality. And obviously, man, he's winning at it. And it's like, why would I get out of the chair? What am I going to do tomorrow? It's a great point.
Also a fantastic product. I mean, if you haven't tried it yet, go try it out. I recommend Apple. It's delicious, and it helps me before just like a crazy workout. If you want to just absolutely go banana sandwich and dial in, a little Apple, and you're good to go.
It's I just always thought of it as an ultra runner type thing, but I didn't think of it just for like increasing like performance in everyday life. I didn't think about that.
We should start ripping them before the show.
We should rip some before the show. As we round out the day here, there's actually more stories that we could cover. Why don't we hit 2 or 3 here to round things up here? Go ahead. What do you got?
I would say the not Zane again playbook for 2026.
We got to hit it.
Juicy one. We got to hit it because this is beautiful.
Well, and actually Zane actually dropped a banger or two. It's not just this tweet, like even just this morning, he dropped an article that I've got in here that we've got to hit at some point. We need to have Zane back on, and
he became an author
about this. Yeah, he is an author now. Many of you just know Zane for his posting of shite, but
memes.
You know him for his memes, but maybe you don't know him for his mind. Let's hit Zane's not Zane again playbook for 2026. Let's bring this up here, Jack. This was a great tweet from the man himself. Let us read it and make millions. How to make millions in e-commerce in 2026. Step 1, seed out 1,000 free samples per month. Per month on TikTok shop. Reminds me of Jordan West. You're not selling the consumer, you're selling the creator.
Yeah.
Send out 1,000 free samples per month on TikTok shop. Yes, that many. Number 2, get usage rights and repurpose those winning vids on Meta. You'll scale higher here. Push higher AOV on Shopify with bundles and upsells if one-time purchase. Push subs if consumables. Number 3, use Claude Cowork to make static ads. I find it interesting that he specifically called out Claude Cowork to make static ads. I'd like to know more about that. Use Claude Cowork to make static ads out of the vid creatives that did well. It will copy the angles and make them into compelling visuals. Run those statics on Meta. Repurpose the winning vids from TikTok shop to AppLovin. Hello, AppLovin. 50% chance the platform works for you. I'd like to know more on his thought on this. 50% chance it works. But I like this. Hey, take that. Okay. Repurpose the winning vids from TikTok shop. Take them to AppLovin. Yes, do it on AppLovin. Get on Amazon for the spillover effect from TikTok shop. Lastly, get in retail when ready, and enjoy higher retail velocity from TikTok shop brand awareness. I would say a succinct summary of how to win in 2026. Absolute gas. Your thoughts on this?
Gas. I would say he missed one key point here, which is have an unbelievable welcome offer. That would be the one thing where I would say he kind of just didn't include in this, where you see the gruns where it's 52% off. You have a lot of companies where it is an unbelievable hook offer to initially get your SMS, your email, to get you into subscription initially. That would be the one piece of this that I think he's missing, where if you can nail that offer and just dial that in and do all of the rest of these things, you're going to crush in 2026, folks.
Zane, Colin's bagging on you. He's bagging
No,
on his
he,
tweet.
he is 95% of the way there. He just needs one more thing. Hey.
What I will say is this this tweet is obviously sounds simple but not easy. You know, sending out a simple but not easy. Sending out 1,000 free samples. Let's just take step one. Sending out 1,000 free samples per month on TikTok Shop. Hello.
Yeah, that is such a great point to make for this. This is a really simple playbook. It is not easy whatsoever, but it is very simple. You just do these things and you'll be good to go. But believe me, it is not easy.
How about this? Get usage rights. Like even just that. Okay. 1,000 free samples per month on TikTok Shop. Get usage rights. Sometimes even that, you know, not so simple. Negotiating manually, whatever. But I like his hey, take that. What wins there? Push it over on Meta. Push that traffic to Shopify. Push up the AOV, bundles, upsells, push for subs. Use Claude Cowork and take those vid creatives and repurpose them as statics. Okay, now the winning vids from TikTok Shop, run those on AppLovin. Hey, he's saying coin flip is going to work for you. I think it's probably better. It's a better chance than a coin flip. Just from my personal experience, I think it's better, much better odds than that. But he's saying repurpose on AppLovin, smart, get on Amazon. Okay, there's a lot in that phrase, get on Amazon. Sometimes working with Amazon, not so easy. Get in retail when ready. Okay, also there's a lot of work embedded in that sentence, but I think a great playbook, which is why it's got 15,000 views so far and 304 saves. And the only thing I want to know more about, Zane, is I want to know more about this 24/7 live stream article that he brought up this morning. I want him to come on and talk about that because the halo is real. I admit I was skeptical of the halo a few years ago. Okay.
Yeah.
But I'm a better man now, and I am not skeptical. I'm educated.
Yeah.
I have been educated, and the halo is real. I believe in the halo. So we need to have Zane on to talk about more. Okay. Next story. The Attorney General of Texas is investigating Lululemon.
Yes.
And kind of seems like a Yahtzee. We got a yikesers here.
Yes.
Ken Paxton, infamous Attorney General of the state of Texas, put this out yesterday. Breaking. You can get in trouble for saying breaking too often, by the way, on X. Breaking. I launched an investigation into Lululemon over the potential presence of toxic forever chemicals in activewear. Yikes. Let me read some more here. Civil investigative demand into Lululemon USA Inc., part of an investigation of whether the company has misled customers about the safety, quality, and health impacts of its products. Yeah, that's what's at question here. Has Lululemon misled customers about the health impacts of their products? Lululemon is a leading activewear brand that generated over 11 Bs in fiscal year 2025 alone. The company markets itself as a wellness-focused lifestyle brand emphasizing sustainability and performance. However, emerging research and consumer concerns have raised questions about the potential presence of certain synthetic materials and chemical compounds in their apparel that may be associated with endocrine disruption, infertility, cancer, and other health issues. Attorney General Paxton's investigation will examine whether Lululemon's athletic apparel contains PFAS or forever chemicals that their health-conscious customers would not expect based on the brand's marketing. Now, what I find interesting here is this kind of juxtaposition as, of course, Lululemon, very health associated, yoga, fitness, all of the things, hot yoga. What's the one where they go and they pull on the ropes? And anyway, there's like so many ways for women and others to work out. Health conscious, yes. The question to me though is, I mean, do they have like specific marketing around their apparel that's saying like, hey, you wear our pants and you're going to get healthier? I mean, it seems like a little bit of a stretch. I wonder if there's not like very specific, like, are the materials of our activewear makes you healthy. Like I can't imagine that they said that. But I do get the general thought like, hey, this is supposed to be like lifestyle, health and wellness focused brand. And if your product is really hurting and damaging people's health, that's a problem.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of talk about this. Forever chemicals, everybody's got plastic floating around in them. And I think the argument on this is, hey, if we've got these chemicals expanded across our bodies as we sweat, they get inside there, and then my health suffers as a result. No bueno, not good. This has got to stop. My question though is like, what is Lululemon going to do about this? I mean, obviously they'll go through it all, but what do? They like change their entire wardrobe and change all their products. Like I don't know what they're gonna do.
Yeah, this is just not a good thing for Lululemon in general, because it is just not good press whatsoever. I mean, we talk about on the show, basically no press is bad press, but this is really bad press in a sense that if this comes out and they go through all of this and they go through all the education and start to uncover a ton of the massive pieces of this where these types of materials are endocrine disrupting, they're damaging to people, they are hurting pregnancy, they're hurting you in the long term as far as cancer. And this is coming out right now. It just in the zeitgeist of this kind of quote unquote better for you kind of economy that we're living in, this will not be good for Lululemon. I don't know if they will be forced to change their actual materials, because that would basically set a precedent where, okay, no one else in the industry can have these materials, period, which would be kind of bananas. I mean, it would just be insane if that was the precedent that was set. But the education of this by saying, hey, this isn't that healthy for you to wear, probably, if you're doing this thing, or if you want to do this, or if you're in this stage in your life, just keep this in mind. You probably shouldn't have this on your body every single day for 5 years. Probably some not good stuff's going to happen.
You know who's been on this just personally in my network, your network, who's been on this for many years is D2C Doug. Doug over at Heart and Soil. He's been on this for years. Of course, now Paul Saladino, owner of Heart and Soil, he's been talking about this for a long time. We've got some more tweets on this topic. This next tweet comes from Cooking with Chris. He is quote tweeting Attorney General Ken Paxton's tweet here and describing what he sees. Using natural fibers isn't a fad, and it's especially important when you're working out / sweating. Luckily, there are great brands out there now like Riker Clothing and Wavewear, who apparently use more natural fibers. And he's using an app that I have never heard of here. It's called the Oasis app. Apparently, you point it at a product, and it tells you what's in there, what the health risks are, is it good, is it bad, etc. I haven't used it, but I find it interesting. I actually went to the website, and Lululemon is getting a score here, 1 out of 100 bad for their high-rise pant on the Oasis app. And then he's got Riker getting a 94 out of 100. And the Wave Flow Top Black getting 100 out of 100 as far as health risks, sustainable materials, plastic leaching, etc. Jack, do you have this website? I'd like to show the website because I think it's truly unique. Yeah, scroll up for us a little bit if you can. See what's really inside. And then you scroll down through the website, and what you see is there's like video of you download the app, you point it at a product. Actually, we covered this. We showed somebody inside a grocery store. Here on screen, you can see him pointing it at a Fiji water bottle, and then he's getting a score. Somehow you get a score. Here's the health risks. Here's what's wrong with it. Plastic leaching, whatever. Truly interesting. And it just kind of makes you wonder, like, maybe I should download the thing and walk around the house and see what we got in here. How much am I putting myself at risk? I will say, especially coming off the back of the conversation with Michael Brandt, American consumers definitely more conscious now of reading what's happening, reading the APIs of our body, reading what's happening, and writing as well, wanting to write healthier things to go inside of that flesh and bone system. I don't know what's going to happen with Lululemon. I don't know what's going to happen with activewear. Isabella M. DeLuca, boy, she made a very poignant tweet about this as well. I think it sounds like she has experienced some unfortunate health ramifications as a result of wearing materials like this. Lululemon, along with other legging brands, have forever chemicals in their clothes. These chemicals don't just wash out, they don't break down, and once they're in your body, they don't leave. These can be absorbed through the skin, which makes it worse when you learn that these forever chemicals are heavily concentrated in the crotch region of leggings, the most absorbent, sensitive skin on your body, worn tight 4 hours, sometimes with no barriers. PFAS are linked to hormone disruption, thyroid issues, liver and kidney damage, increased cancer risk, and infertility. I hate it here. That's what she says. I'm interested to see what happens. I don't know. Let's say this all goes the way of like, hey, actually, these things are really bad for us. And maybe Lululemon knew or they didn't know. Maybe they misled their customers or not. I kind of doubt they can find a smoking gun that says they're promising that their apparel makes your body healthier. I doubt that they can find a smoking gun in their marketing that way. But I don't know what happens. They just have to change their entire company overnight at some point. If this goes the other direction, does everybody else in the industry have to quit making activewear as it does? Also, I'm interested to see what takes place.
Absolutely, yeah. This is big time. If that happens and this changes overnight, this is a big precedent that could be set. So really got to watch this one.
As we close out today's show, I'd like to hit just a little recommendation from Trung Fan. How to deal with contrarian views at work, or he might say conspiracy theories. This post comes to us via Ryan Hansey, and he says, it's rare, but every now and again you get some alpha over on LinkedIn. This post says, never argue with conspiracy theories. Or we could substitute here contrarian points of view. Sometimes you work with people who are a little tiresome. They can be hard to work with at times. Always having a different point of view to insert. Ryan Hansey says, never argue with conspiracy theories. Escalate them. Someone, the moon landing was fake. You, interesting. You still believe in the moon? Now they're stuck. They came to question NASA. You uninstalled the sky. It's easy. Don't debate it. Invalidate the premise. Delete the moon. Works in arguments, works in meetings, works on anyone who says, per my last email. There is no email. There never was.
Wow. Beautiful.
If you're having a little trouble at work, somebody's giving you a hard time, you just escalate it. You just take away. You just take away the whole premise. I thought this was sage advice for all of our operators. Managing Slack, managing relationships at large in the various workplaces. Hey, you think there's something here? Somebody's questioning, then you just delete the sky.
Yeah, just have fun with it, folks. I mean, we're all gonna die from forever chemicals anyway. So,
oh god,
have some fun. Just have some fun while we're here.
I hope not. I assuredly hope not, but it'll be, I do think there's a lot coming on the PFAS topic of forever chemicals. Many thanks to Seguno, Postscript, and Insense for making this show possible. Many thanks to Michael Brandt, Ketone IQ, for joining us. Tyler Simmons from Bucket Golf. Adam Kitain had a lot to drop of sauce. That guy was wired. He was great. He was great to talk to. And many thanks for you guys for joining us. We will be back tomorrow. We've got a jam-packed week. And next week, we're going to be at Commerce Roundtable live. Monday. It's coming. Monday and Tuesday, we're going to be there live and in living color. Thanks for joining us. We will catch you tomorrow. Parting words, Colin? Anything on your side you want to leave the good people with?
On average, 10 people will cry at your funeral. You should have more fun, folks, because it's going to go by pretty quick.
Wise words, sage advice from the one and only Colin Doherty. We will catch you tomorrow. See you at 12 p.m. Catch you on the other side.